You have to know that I love you so much. Really. From the bottom of my heart. This is it, and see you in July.
Sadly, Michael Jackson's fans never got to see him perform again. He's been gone for over 2 years, but his fans are making sure his memory lives on. Dozens of fans make the trek every day to the LA County Courthouse to voice their concern that justice be served in the Jackson death trial. Let's take a look.
We love you so very, very much. I have you in the dining room at my house in Pasadena. I love you, Michael. We all love you.
What he did for the world was put on his fans. And now it's our responsibility to do what he wanted in saving our children and healing the world.
Michael Jackson was murdered. This should not be involuntary manslaughter. It was voluntary manslaughter.
I'm getting a pedicure while Michael is over at Forest Lawn. It ain't right, it ain't right.
With us tonight to talk about the mystique and celebrity of Michael Jackson and why he has such a devoted following is Cooper Lawrence, an expert on celebrity culture and the author of The Cult of Celebrity, and Taaj Malik, who is the founder of TeamMichaelJackson.com. And she has been at the courthouse every day since the beginning of the trial. Taaj, you started somewhat of a movement for Michael. Why have you devoted so much of your life to this?
It's a worthwhile cause. It's a cause that needs, the public needs to know a lot more than what is out there. And the fans have dedicated our lives many days and hours per day. There's thousands of fans around the world who've dedicated their life in putting the truth out there regarding the Michael Jackson cases.
Was there this much sort of energy amongst Michael's fans before he passed away?
Yes, there's always been energy, vigor, enthusiasm amongst Michael Jackson fans, more so now that he's not here to speak up for himself, so we feel obliged to speak up for him, and in the process we're realizing how much misinformation there is out there, so we're dedicating our time and hours in informing the public of the real facts surrounding Michael Jackson's death.
Are you saying that what is coming out in the courtroom is somehow adulterated, somehow not factual?
No, what's coming out in the court is what's coming out in court, but it's not the truth. The recording of Conrad Murray today...
I've lost the audio here, so I'm going to... I've lost it, so it's okay. I've lost your... I want to go on here a bit. Now, fans not only are having an impact outside the courthouse, they've had an impact inside as well. Take a look at this.
He had an incredible relationship with his fans all over the world, and they with him. And it was very loving and very special, and he wanted to give back to them.
Now, Cooper, you said Michael reached out to fans in the pre-Twitter age in a way that few other celebrities did. Talk about that.
No others. As a matter of fact, he was somebody who used to say to his publicist, look, don't pull me into the car, don't pull me into my next thing that I'm doing. These are the people that matter. These are the people that made me who I am. And he would stay there and sign every autograph and take every picture. And that was very unique, not just for a celebrity, but for a celebrity of his stature. The fact that he didn't mind being touched and that he recognized the fact that if he was a diva, that it would turn these people off.
I gotta tell you, I did an event with him at Carnegie Hall here in New York, and it wasn't like that at all. I mean, he was carefully handled around, and people were throwing themselves at him. I mean, it was actually dangerous, and he was not allowed to be. His handlers sort of kept him away. He'd march into a room. It was kind of peculiar.
That was much later. I'm telling you, in the beginning when when Off the Wall first came out, and they couldn't even get him on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, because Rolling Stone said, I don't know who the audience is for this guy. The audience was there. He recognized that if he's going to create that audience, he has to really bond with them. Now stars do it via Twitter. It's very easy to hit reply, but you're thinking, is it really the celebrity? Is it an assistant? Whereas Michael Jackson was right there and he was willing to talk to people.
I did hear from the people who would camp outside his house every day that he would almost every time he went out of his gate, he would stop and shake hands and say hello to them almost every time.
Who does that anymore?
It's true. Now, yesterday there was a little skirmish outside the courthouse between a Michael Jackson fan and a Conrad Murray supporter. Looked like things were getting a little heated there. Taaj, have you seen much animosity between the Michael Jackson supporters and the Dr. Conrad Murray supporters?
I've been there out of the last 7 to 8 days. I've been there 3 days out of that, and when we're there, we speak to the Conrad Murray supporters. You know, we bounce ideas back off them, and we're quite friendly, we're quite loving. I was standing there today speaking to the young lady who holds the banners, and I just apologised to her. I wanted to say I'm sorry for whatever interaction happened yesterday. A lot of Michael Jackson, you have to understand, a lot of Michael Jackson fans are frustrated, we're hurt. We've been waiting 2 years for justice to be served, and there's just a lot of frustration coming out, but deep down we're all very loving, we're kind, and I'm sorry about what happened yesterday, but I think the emotions got a little high, and I don't think any harm was meant by it.
Cooper, one of the things that I'm learning about Michael Jackson is he confused his own pain with the pain of people out in the world. He felt that all children were suffering, and that was his own pain. And it seems like his fans have a similar kind of reaction to him, where they could somehow relate to his difficult childhood. Is that something he's mobilizing?
Yeah, they seem to have a reciprocal relationship where he needed them as much as they needed him. And he was also one of the first to really be open about his childhood and his life. There was a time that a celebrity would hire a publicist to hide all that stuff. He was out there saying, this is my childhood, this is what my parents did to me, this is how I grew up. And people were going, you know, I'm not famous, but God, I can relate to this. And it bonded them further.
And it still seems like some of what Michael went through is still minimized. I read Jermaine's book, and one of the things that he revealed in that book is that Michael was not only struck with a belt, he was struck with the buckle end of the belt, which is tearing flesh. It's physical abuse to the point. And Michael himself, I've heard him talk when he was still alive about how he would actually lose his urine. He was so in such pain. I mean, horrible, horrible trauma. And it seems like people out there sort of saw that injured child and were mobilized by it.
And people who, whether they had a good childhood or not, they would hear his music and say, this beautiful person had this sort of desultory past. How could I be there for them? And he really created a family. His fans are not just people that go, wow, what a great song. They feel like it's a family. So that's why they're at the trial. They're there for their brother.
And Taaj, I have less than 1 minute here in this segment. What is the purpose of TeamMichaelJackson.com? Less than a minute.
Team Michael Jackson is a unique website. It posts information direct from the court. There's no sensationalizing or blogging or adding my own interpretation. There's court documents, summaries of court transcripts, so you can log on to there and hear and read the actual words that are spoken inside the courtroom.
Excellent. Well, thank you, ladies, for being here. I appreciate it. Very interesting.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways.
Well, Michael may be gone, but his songs will live on. Welcome back to the show. And by the way, I want to thank everyone here at the Time Warner Center for making us feel very welcome this week here, broadcasting from New York. We'll be back in Los Angeles on Monday. Rejoining me are my guests, Taaj Malik, who is the founder of TeamMichaelJackson.com, and Cooper Lawrence, an expert on celebrity culture and the author of The Cult of Celebrity. My question first is to you, Cooper. Fandom, when does it become unhealthy? When is it an obsession? And should we be concerned about some of Michael's fans?
Yeah, there actually are different levels of celebrity worship. Most of us worship celebrities in the way that we, follow them on Twitter, or we look to TMZ, or we discuss it with our friends. And the whole purpose of that is just to be social. I mean, I don't really care about Britney Spears, but if you and I have nothing in common, I go, oh, look what Britney did. All of a sudden, you and I have a basis for a conversation. That's most of the celebrity worshipers. But there is a small percentage that go into the area of unhealthy, where it becomes more than obsession. It's almost a sublimation for other things going on in their lives. They become like social outcasts because they are only known for being somebody who follows that celebrity. Not necessarily stalking, but that becomes their life. That becomes their identity.
It seems like Michael cultivates a lot of those kinds of folks, does he not?
He absolutely does. And I think it's because he shared so much of his life, because if you're not connecting to the music as much, now you can connect to who he was as a person. So it sort of combines
and
it all.
There's the ultimate sort of potential for worship and mythology if somebody's gone, he's dead.
Right, that's
true.
Really
people.
But that's true for anybody that dies, because you start to have fantasies about who they might have been, and that plays into it as well. So for the small percentage that are unhealthy, that are predisposed to it, he's going to just add to their psychosis. I don't know. You're the psychologist.
Their worship. And Malik, my understanding is, before we go, you actually are paying for the banners that are up there, that the planes are flying over the courthouse. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, I'm one of the organisers. I have admin that work on the group, admins allocated from different parts of the world. We have various countries. We've appointed directors who have taken on the task of collecting donations for their own country, which have been forwarded on to flysigns.com, who's the aerial banner company responsible for flying the banners. We're flying 14 banners in total so far throughout the trial. More countries are coming on board. They would like to be represented as well. The banners have an image of Michael. It's the size of the image is 30 foot by 25 foot. We're hoping to fly 3 a week, though that will be increasing towards the end of the trial. As I said, more countries are coming on board.
And Malik, I've got only a few seconds here, but towards what end? What are those banners supposed to do for Michael's case? Just in 15 seconds, please.
Yes, it's knowledge. It's educating the people around the world that we demand justice for Michael Jackson. A lot of fans don't feel justice has been served.
Okay.
So this is to let... Thank you.
Okay, thank you much. Thank you to my ladies, Cooper and Taaj. I appreciate it. Now, of course, the defense grilled the coroner's investigator this week in the Michael Jackson trial. I had some thoughts about this. I had very limited time. I'm not going to be able to tell you my thoughts. You have to come back on Monday. Listen, I'm running out of time. We'll see you on Monday. We'll be tackling bullying, among other things, next week, so be sure to join us.